countdown begins for U.S. military strike on Iran. IRGC sounds chilling alarm bells. U.S. troops and officials spotted in a secret place in Qatar. One misfire and boom. The Middle East is set to explode like never before. Iran's feared Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has issued a chilling new threat against U.S. forces as regional tensions boil over. An IRGC-linked Telegram channel claims it has pinpointed the exact location where American commanders are hiding in Qatar. According to the Post, senior officers from U.S. Central Command quietly evacuated Udeid Air Base and relocated to a luxury hotel in downtown Doha. The warning is blunt and menacing. Even five-star walls offer no shelter. The message signals that U.S. personnel remain firmly in Tehran's crosshairs wherever they run. In a direct threat, the message declares that the so-called relocation of commanders and officers and what it calls a transferred operations room will not shield U.S. forces from what it describes as a decisive and forceful response if Iran is attacked.
Udeid Air Base in Qatar is America's main military base in the Middle East, housing about 10,000 soldiers. It houses Qatar Emiri Air Force, United States Air Force USAF, United Kingdom Royal Air Force RAF, and other foreign forces. It is host to a forward headquarters of the U.S. Central Command, headquarters of the USAF Central Command, number 83 Expeditionary Air Group RAF, and the 379th Air Expeditionary Wing of the USAF. On Wednesday, the U.S. advised some personnel at Udeid Air Base to leave. The move was described as a precaution amid rising tensions with Iran. The State Department also advised U.S. citizens to exercise increased caution and limit non-essential travel to any military installations in the region. The back-to-back warnings and advisory came after Tehran warned neighbors hosting U.S. troops that it would hit American bases if Washington strikes. Meanwhile, Donald Trump commended Iran for canceling 800 executions of political prisoners, appearing soft on his Mission Tehran mode.
You urged protesters in Iran earlier this week to keep fighting in the streets and said that help was on the way. Is help still on the way, or has your bar
Well, we're
for
going to see.
intervention
As you
changed?
know, Iran canceled the hanging of over 800 people. They were going to hang over 800 people yesterday, and I greatly respect the fact that they canceled that.
Did Arab and Israeli officials convince you to not strike Iran?
Nobody convinced me. I convinced myself. You had yesterday scheduled over 800 hangings. They didn't hang anyone. They canceled the hangings. That had a big impact.
Meanwhile, amid tensions, U.S. dispatched a carrier strike group to the Middle East.
The United States moves air crews to the Middle East. Clock ticks down on Trump's imminent strike on Iran. USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier on its way? The Middle East is set for a shakeup. Miscalculation to trigger World War III. The United States is flexing its military muscle in the Middle East as tensions with Iran boil over. At least one aircraft carrier strike group has been dispatched, with Fox News citing military sources who say the USS Abraham Lincoln and other warships that recently sailed from Norfolk and San Diego are now believed to be en route. The move signals a sharp escalation, coming as anti-Khamenei protests rage across Iran, and Washington sends a clear message that it is watching, ready, and prepared to act. The deployment is estimated to take at least a week, but the message is loud and clear. Fox News reported that one of the sources said that if Trump authorizes a strike, it would be different, more aggressive than previous operations, with U.S. forces preparing for multiple Iranian retaliation scenarios. More American air power is also on the move. At least 6 USAF KC-135 Stratotanker aerial refuelers headed south towards Saudi Arabia, according to open-source flight tracking data. Reports also suggested that some U.S. personnel are evacuating Udeid Air Base in Qatar, America's main military base in the Middle East, as Trump is weighing military action against Iran. If Trump orders military action, Udeid would likely be a prime Iranian target, just as it was last year when Tehran launched missile salvos in retaliation for U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. Iran has repeatedly warned that any American intervention will trigger attacks on U.S. bases across the region, raising fears that a single miscalculation could ignite a wider regional war or worse. So how close is the United States to striking Iran? White House Press Secretary Karine Leavitt gave this answer.
Two quick questions on Iran. I wanted to ask first, just if you can say, how close was the president to potentially launching strikes last night, and was it the Gulf states that convinced him not to do that, as some of the region there have said?
Well, look, Kelly, I know there's been a lot of speculation in the media about what the president is going to do at any given moment or any given night. And I would say a lot of these stories, to be honest with you, I've been reading them, and they've been based on anonymous sources who are pretending or guessing to know the president's thinking. The truth is, only President Trump knows what he's going to do, and a very, very small team of advisors are read into his thinking on that. And as I just told you, he continues to closely monitor the situation on the ground in Iran. And as we saw yesterday, he had heard that the killings and executions would stop, and we have seen 800 people, their lives have been spared as a result of that. The president continues to closely monitor, but also keep all of his options on the table.
Donald Trump himself appeared to step back from the brink, telling reporters he had been informed by very important sources that executions would not take place, though he admitted uncertainty and said the situation was still unfolding. The president stopped short of ruling out military action, saying the U.S. would watch and see how events develop.
Ron, you said that the killing has stopped. Who told you that the killings have stopped there? And if it's the
we
Iranian regime?
have been informed by very important sources on the other side, and they've said the killing has stopped and the executions won't take place. There was supposed to be a lot of executions today, and that the executions won't take place. And we're going to find out. I mean, I'll find out after this. You'll find out. But we've been told on good authority, and I hope it's true. Who knows, right? Who knows?
We've
Crazy
seen the body
world.
bags, so how do you trust
No,
them?
you've seen that over the last few days, and they said people were shooting at them with guns, and they were shooting back, and you know, it's one of those things. But they told me that there'll be no executions, and so I hope that's true.
Does this mean military action is now off the table against Iran?
No, we're going to watch it and see what the process is, but we were given a very good statement by people that are aware of what's going on.
But are they still considering military action?
When they say no executions, everyone is talking about a lot of executions were taking place today. We were just told no executions. I hope that's true. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Meanwhile, behind the scenes, America's closest Middle Eastern allies are sounding alarms. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Oman are reportedly pressing Washington to pull back, warning that a U.S. strike could plunge the region into chaos.